Hi, first graders, it's Mrs. Bellatash. I hope you had fun learning about those different environments, different habitats. Different plants and animals live in different habitats. They're adapted or suited to living in that environment. Scientists study things, they observe, and they conduct experiments. Engineers are people who solve problems. They design technology to solve problems. One of the things that's fun is when engineers look to nature to help them solve problems. And today we are going to start our engineering unit, and it's going to be something called biomimicry. And the word bio means life. And the word mimic means to copy. So biomimicry means to copy life. In your first grade science book, there is a great chapter on biomimicry. But instead of calling it biomimicry, they call it learning from nature. Many animals have structures that help them swim in the water. Ducks have structures that help them swim. What structures can you see that help ducks move in the water? What do you see in that picture that helps the ducks swim? Frogs have structures that help them swim. What structures can you see that help frogs move in the water? Ducks and frogs have big webbed feet. Webbed feet help them push through the water. An engineer designed some big webbed feet for people. The big webbed feet are called flippers. People wearing flippers can move better in the water. Have you ever seen a squirrel climb a tree? Squirrels are good climbers. Bears are good climbers too. How can they climb like that? Squirrels and bears have strong claws. What can people learn about climbing trees from squirrels and bears? An engineer designed a tool for climbing poles. The engineer made a pair of boots with big, sharp climbing spurs. Do you see the boot? On the edge, it has a very sharp spur. A worker wearing these boots can climb to the top of a pole. A tree trimmer wearing these boots can climb a tree. Seals live in cold ocean water. Seals are mammals like people and must stay warm. How are seals able to live in such cold water? Seals have a layer of fat called blubber under their skin. The blubber is insulation and acts like a blanket. The blubber keeps the heat from leaving the seal's body. Engineers developed a rubber fabric called neoprene. Neoprene is filled with lots of tiny air bubbles. The fabric acts like a layer of blubber and is good insulation. Divers wear a layer of neoprene insulation and swim and work in very cold water. Some land animals can live in very cold weather. Animals like Arctic foxes and polar bears have thick fur coats. People looked closely at the fur of Arctic foxes and they saw a layer of very fine, fluffy fur. Snowy owls can also live in cold places. People studied the feathers of snowy owls. They saw a layer of very fine, fluffy feathers. Engineers used this information. They developed a fine, fluffy material called polyester wool. The The fluffy polyester wool is good insulation. People use polyester wool to stuff coats. It keeps people warm on the coldest days. Can you please get your package, What is Biomimicry? Please make sure to put your name on the front. Let's turn to the first page. Biomimicry. This is the problem. David lives in Alaska and it's very cold outside. Here's your challenge. Using a bear as a model, make something to help David. Should we give David some claws? Should we give David a really good nose? What should we give David? Right, a nice warm coat. Use your crayon and draw a nice warm coat for David. Let's turn the page to the next one. Problem. Olivia does not know how to tie her shoes. Using a burdock plant as a model, make something to help Olivia. A burdock plant is a plant that has seeds that have little hooks in them, and they get stuck in your socks. Someone invented something that we use all the time to open and close things. What is that called? Yep, it's Velcro. Why don't you draw some Velcro on her shoes for her? Let's turn the page. Here we go. Jen wants to swim, but the ocean is very cold. What's the challenge? Using a whale as a model, make something for Jen that will keep her warm. Didn't we just read about something like that in our science textbook? What could we make for Jen? Flippers? A wetsuit. You guys did a great job on this packet. Next week, we are going to be engineers and we are going to solve another problem. And we're not just going to draw a picture, we're going to build it. I'll see you next week, first graders.